If you've never wanted to read a book about interdimensional wizard pickpockets, you do now. It exists, and I'm about to tell you about it. I feel like we can end the review there and everyone would just be fine with it. What? We're still rolling? The book we're going to be reviewing today is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Now, I'm a bit of a nerd, so I read the whole trilogy at once, and I can't keep straight what plot point is what anymore. So I'm also going to be reviewing the entire trilogy in one go, including A Gathering of Shadows and A Conjuring of Light. I will try my best to confine my review to one book if I can, but if not, you get a review for the whole series. So I guess go you. The thing that sets A Darker Shade of Magic apart from a lot of its fantasy contemporaries is the setting, or rather the four settings. It's set in a sort of multiverse that has four worlds, each with a different iteration of the city of London. So a long time ago, all four of the Londons were in contact with each other pretty much constantly until Black London got too involved with magic and the entire world just got eaten alive. In panic, the other three worlds cut all ties with each other. One of them stopped using magic entirely, and one of them slowly began to starve to death. And that's where the setting begins. So you've got three primary Londons. You've got Grey London, our world. No magic, technology. This is around the time of King George III, right before he dies. You've got White London, where magic is slowly dying from the world and everyone is desperate for more. And you've got Red London, home of the main characters, where magic is flourishing. The main character is a blood wizard named Kell. He's one of two people left in the multiverse who's capable of moving between Londons. So his job is to carry messages between the royalty of the three worlds. He technically is a member of the Red London royal family. He was adopted by them as a child, but all of his memories were magically wiped before that point, so he has no idea who he really is. Honestly, it's a little bit like Loki from the Avengers movies. He knows he doesn't quite belong, even though they try and treat him like a member of the family. And that causes some personal issues with him. Luckily for the people of Red London, those personal issues do not involve intentional genocide, emphasis on intentional. He's also a smuggler. He carries things between the three Londons for people who he thinks deserve it. So he's an ethical smuggler. He's an ethical smuggler with very poor judgment skills. He doesn't always pick the best people. So he gets tricked into carrying an artifact from Black London across the world boundaries, which is really, really bad. He decides he has to take it back, but before he can, it gets stolen by the other main character, the pickpocket, Delilah Bard. Delilah is a really interesting character. She's a destitute Grey Londoner, world with no magic. She's a famous thief, very good pickpocket, and the thing she wants out of life more than anything else is to become a pirate. She's got a little bit of adopted family. There's an innkeeper who takes care of her. Lila and Kell keep trying to steal the artifact from each other. Meanwhile, someone from White London is trying to kill both Lila and Kell so that the monarchs of White London can use it to invade the other worlds and steal all their magic. Now, I'm going to start off my thoughts on this by saying that I do absolutely love this book, and I love the entire Shades of Magic trilogy. There are a lot of things that it does really well. The characters are fantastic. One of the best developed characters in the series is actually one of the main villains, the other Blood Wizard. Watching what he does, even though you know he's a terrible person, and even though you know he's done terrible things, you really want him to win because he has such noble goals and he wants to do so much good, even if he has to kill so many people to do it. A lot of the side characters as well. Eventually, the pirate captain is a great character. I love him so much. And the setting is interesting and fantastic. The more we learn about the worlds, the more we learn about Red London, the more interesting the book gets. There's all of these things that are like, yeah, if it's something that would be in a fantasy book that would make Lord Byron go, yes, that, it's in Red London. It's just, the entire world of Red London is amazing and romantic, and it's just a world of adventure in a lot of ways. The plot of these books is very minimalist, which is actually really good, because the strength of these books is not in the plot, it's in the setting and the characters. And the author knows that, so they sort of allow the story to take a back seat to this world that they're creating. but I think that they may have done that a little bit too much. And as a result, the plot does suffer a bit. The endings to the first and third books, they feel too tidy. After all of this buildup of how bad the problems are getting, the heroes win a little bit too easily, and all the problems are dealt with too quickly. And at the same time, a lot of the really interesting setting and backstory elements later in the series get a little bit pushed aside in favor of sparse plot. Now, the plot does a lot of original things, and it does them very well, but the plot is not the strong suit of this novel. The other thing that I have is that the side characters, as I mentioned, are really, really, really well developed. They are some of the best characters I've ever seen in fiction. The main characters are somewhat less so. They would be amazing and fantastic characters in another story. Lila and Kel would be great characters if they weren't in a world that also included the prince, the pirate captain, the second blood wizard. All of these fantastic, really six-dimensional characters, and Lila and Kel only have 3, which is still pretty good, but it's not 6, if you get my meaning. I feel like the author should have left it as a trilogy instead of trying to stretch it out into a 4th book. I think that weakened the plot a little bit, and moreover weakened the setting. There was a lot more that could have been done in the space of these 3 books that wasn't done, and I think it should have been. There were a lot of expectations that eventually didn't get filled. But the thing about these books is that they're otherwise so strong that having those expectations not get filled actually doesn't make that much of a difference to how much I enjoyed it. So simply put, I really did enjoy these books. I really do love them. I absolutely recommend you buy a copy. If you've read V.E. Schwab's Shades of Magic trilogy, comment below, tell me what you thought. Tell everyone else what you thought. The Amazon link is below, so check it out. Remember to like and subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and I will see everyone on Sunday.